Welcome to the corner where we talk about anime, manga, stories, and poetry. I messed that line up, but I'm not too worried about it. It can go either way. Sometimes we do some theories here and there, but you know the drill at this point. You've watched plenty of it if you're on this video. So let's continue on with something interesting. Yes, Naruto has ended a while ago, but I thought I'd put my 2 cents in anyways. The end with Naruto as a series itself, I must state, I did enjoy. I enjoyed watching it. The fillers got to me. I hated the fillers. The filler over filler over filler. All of a sudden you'd be in the middle of battle and a filler. Why? Anyways, I do think that Naruto had a good progression. It had what it needed. It strived to be better. It did what it needed to do. It changed. It killed. It did things that you would not normally expect too much. It started killing off senseis after the year gap. I think, how many years was it again? I don't remember. But during that gap, it changed dramatically. It killed off senseis. It killed off Pervy Sage. Oh my gosh! Even in the first one, they killed off the Hokage. I mean, it was one thing after another, and at the end of the first one, they were getting the 4th Hokage into situations. I can rave about this manga anime all day if I really want to. I can. By the way, for people that have not watched it entirely or read it entirely all the way through, I know the anime. People that watch the anime should probably not watch this because the manga has ended. The anime is still going on and is almost done. But if you really want to go into this, if you really want to see a great, almost amazing anime manga, you can see it in Naruto itself. Naruto, being one of the #1 manga animes in the world, is there for a reason. It's not too kiddish. It does not hold your hand. It does not try to explain everything every 5 seconds. Yes, there are flashbacks that are annoying. There are fillers that just get to you. It's just annoys you sometimes because they're just kind of holding you off for a second until the rest of it comes in, building that suspense. Those parts do annoy me, but if you cut it all out, you put in what needs to be there, what doesn't, you get a great anime. I can't say amazing, but I can say great. I can say it's borderline amazing. I can say it can hit that point in perspective. You got Naruto, the person that's been put down, hated his whole life. You get those sad moments, you get those happy moments, you get those excited moments, you get his progression in life, the view of the people changing on him. You get all of that. You see it happening in front of your eyes. You see him going from the most hated to the most loved to the hero to becoming, spoilers alerts, spoilers everywhere. Stop watching if you don't want the spoilers. Hokage. I did it. Sorry, I had it. Anyways, it was obvious after this point. It's been out there long enough. Hokage. Naruto becomes that 7th Hokage. The Hokage he's been striving for. He's been given what he wants. And Nana's with him. So on and so forth. Things just go crazy. They tied it up in a nice, neat package without making it too complicated, but at the same time making it complicated. There's so much to this story that just, oh my gosh, that you just want to keep watching, you just want to keep reading, you just want this thing to continue. It's why most of the Naruto fans want to continue, want the series to continue as it was. You see Naruto being put into a position to getting into a situation where he has to go through the tuning exams again just to get into the status he needs to be in to become a Jonin and to become an Anbu if need be, whatever. He doesn't really need to be an Anbu to become a Hokage. He just needs to come up to Junin at least. So which means he still has a little bit of progression of the line, but I guess it would be kind of sad to see since he is OP at this point and could take down anybody he really wants. If he nearly needs to. He took down a god with Sasuke, for God's sakes. He kept his chakra going for longer than ever expected at that point. Like, he was omnipotent when it really came down to it. He had the power. He had it all. You saw him learn Sage Mode. You saw him master his own chakra at that. You saw him master the Ninetales chakra. And on top of that, fusing those chakras together, seeing him become adaptable into his own situations. You saw the evolution of a character. You saw an evolution of several characters. You saw it actually impact you in a good way. You cared about these characters. You wanted them to be there. They've always been there. It's not that they haven't been. You've seen them throughout the whole series. Some animes don't do that as well. Yes, and I'll go by One Piece. One Piece being one of the biggest things that I have controversy over when it really comes down to. One Piece had Luffy at first, but there was nobody else. Luffy was the only person. He was the one striving to be that, and you could easily attach yourself to Navy. You guys should know what I'm talking about when I say this. Luffy's childhood guy he picked up, so on and so forth. I can't remember his name at this moment in time, but him. You can easily get attached to him because he's always been there in the end. He hasn't disappeared, really. It shows him up every so often. You're excited to see his storyline up to a point. But the other characters haven't been there. They really haven't been there from the beginning. And that's what makes it, that's what takes it from one thing to another. In Naruto, you had that continuous aspect. You always got to see those characters at all times. There was never a new character really added except for Sai. And even with Sai, you couldn't really get into that character as well as you could everybody else because Sai was a new character in the whole thing. But when you really want to go down to it, they explained the whole thing. They gave you these characters in the beginning. They were always there. They gave you Naruto, they gave you Sasuke, they gave you Sakura, they gave you Kakashi, they gave you Lee, they gave you pretty much everyone you could even think of at this point because they were all part of Naruto's class. They gave you the year ahead at that point too to show the difference in abilities type of things. You already had that from the beginning, so you could get emotionally involved in all these characters without a problem. And to tell you guys the truth, my favorite character in Naruto is Shikamaru. I love him. It's awesome. But the whole thing that ends up transpiring in this whole anime manga is something that you don't normally expect to see half the time. You see the character evolve. One of my criteria is right there. The character evolves. He becomes better. His personality becomes doesn't necessarily have to become a lot different. He stays the same when it comes to more of his personality traits. Yes, but he himself becomes a different type of person. He becomes more knowledgeable and he gets reinforced with his ideals, becoming an Hokage and making a ninja world of peace. He never changes that part. But he does change a lot when it comes to personality. He changes when it comes down to it. My first criteria was met there. Second one, side main characters die off. In this anime, side main characters do die off. Pervy Sage, third Hokage. I mean, they even kind of made dead characters kind of side main characters. They become a constant thing that you see. Naruto's father, Naruto's mother, you only see once, but you still see it. Those moments made you sad. Those moments hit you right here inside. Shikamaru Sensei, which I can't remember his name. they die. They change the aspect, the aroma of the whole situation. It's just one thing after another. Third, complexity. Something just doing a whole bunch of things that complicate the storyline as it goes. Obito showing up as and stuff like that. And even though he was new, you felt a familiarity towards him. You want to know who he was. The other Anbu, not the Anbus, but the other Akatsuki, you couldn't really get into as much as you could with him, Obito. It was one of those things. He was so familiar. The familiarity with him was just extraordinary. It was it was like with Itachi, the only other one that you could really relate to in the Itachi. Pain becomes a kind of thing that you like. Oh, Pain. You don't really have much strong feelings for him one way or another, but you understand his storyline. The complexity of it becomes a great deal. So you got 3 of the 4 that I've mentioned when it really comes down to it, making it a great anime. The ending. Oh, the ending. They ended it pretty well. I think they ended it with a good, and explaining almost everything needing to be explained. Everything was explained. The whole Sasuke Naruto thing. Naruto never going back on his word. He's bringing Sasuke home. It's there. They explain it all. You get that. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's a ride. I guess I could probably call it an amazing one because of how the timing, the ability of what it does. You go from you go to a great pace, I should say. So I can call it an amazing anime because of the pace. The pace is well put. It's not too long, it's not too short, until you hit those filler points where it's drifting off into something else. It doesn't have too many flashbacks, but it also doesn't have too many fillers either. The only fillers that really become irritating is when they're trying to pretty much stall for time. Type of situations, like things that they had animate on the free time or something like that, and they kind of were like, oh, this would be a great filler, let's throw this in here real quick just so we can continue get the storyline continued on or something. I feel those are what fillers are mainly about. It's kind of those things that you kind of did as a side project, but you weren't as a side project, but wasn't actually something that you're working on for work, and ends up being something that you end up giving to work just because of the fact that, hey, I did it, it's done. It can buy us a little bit more time, right? A little bit more time. So it had a good even pace when it really came down to it. I got annoyed with a lot of the fillers, I'm not gonna lie. It's mainly because I hate fillers unless it becomes something that actually becomes part of the storyline. A filler needs to be part of the storyline in some way, shape, or form. It can't be outside that storyline, and you have to be able to place it someplace, and it has to be able to be a thing that you can literally see in a future episode, and they go look back on it and say this, and then they do that. Remember that time you destroyed that building? Yeah. Oh, that time. Oh, that was a weird time. Yeah. You were pretty diabolical then. Over. I can't believe you. What? You destroyed that building? Okay. What about it? Why would you destroy the building? Type of situation. That's just how a lot of fillers that end up seeming to me. It's just something that they throw there, instead of becoming part of the storyline. That character wouldn't have been surprised about him destroying the building beforehand, just because of the fact that, It's happened before. It would have been funny. He destroyed the building, then he'd be like, again, really, again, stop destroying buildings. So expecting it to unexpecting it kind of becomes a big thing when it comes to fillers. Like, you see them do something once and then they do it again and they're surprised about it or something. It's just like, what the fuck. Fillers aren't really good things unless they are part of the storyline. But I digress. I tend to do that a lot, don't I? Anyways, Naruto is probably one of the best animes I've seen in a long while. It did have its moments, but it did make me cry. It made me laugh. It made me excited to see this main character grow. It really holds a place in my heart when it really comes down to it. It really does. As a great anime, it's probably up there with most some animes I've seen. But it had that perfect situation. For those that haven't read or seen it, I'm sorry for the spoilers, but I suggest reading it. I suggest watching it. It has a lot of great characters as long as you get past the fillers. It has some great things as long as you get past the useless flashbacks that make no sense to the storyline or give you any attachment to anything else that a part of that storyline. It's just what it is. I find learning about a villain's past can be useful as long as it becomes something that changes the character himself. The villain realizes what he's done wrong. Pain, probably a good example when it came down to it. He realized that what he's been doing has been wrong, and entrusts Naruto to finish the dream that he once sought out. It was a flashback that kind of gave you more of an insight on Jirachi. Not a Pokemon. What am I talking about Pokemon there? What the hell? That's what a different episode, guys. Whoa, Jirachi. Whoa. I'm going to say Perfect Sage, because for some other reason I couldn't say his name right there. I'm just going to say Perfect Sage. Whoa. But Perfect Sage, students, what ended up happening, so on and so forth. It gave a better flashback than you would expect. Some flashbacks are kind of useless. Oh, I remember a time when I was like this, and I did this, and then I decided to do that, and it explains on why they became evil. But it doesn't really affect the character. There's a good balance, I guess. But anyways, I'm done talking about Naruto for today. I do enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I do not agree with the second generation situation that's going on here. And if they cannot master what they need to do with the second generation, they're going to have another DBZ moment where the main character never passes off that torch. And that's where you where Dragon Ball Z ended up being its own demise when it really came down to it. Dragon Ball Z is an amazing anime. Most people will say it's an amazing anime, but there are flaws and there are things that should have been done that didn't get done, and there are things that they tried to spoof out to make it less popular so that it wouldn't have to be made anymore, and became popular. The reverse of what ended up happening. So this next generation could become a situational fact that really only hardcore Naruto fans will probably read in the end. Or, well, I don't think hardcore Naruto fans would read. I think it'd be more people that care about a series over people that care about a character. I don't care about the character too much. When it really comes down to a series, it's not about the character that gets me into it. It's about that storyline. The character is supposed to be there to accent that story that's supposed to be there. And honestly, Naruto has become such a big accent to the Naruto universe that it's almost impossible to take him out as a main character. Series wise, I can see how it can shift off and pass the torch, but it doesn't seem like they're doing it in the most proper ways. It seems like they're just trying to throw something out there to feed the fans in the end. It doesn't seem like it's actually a serious prospect of the future, I guess, is my thing. Yeah, I guess that would be it. It seems less like a serious prospect because it was the biggest joke of them all is the clones at the very beginning of Naruto in the first place. Yes, I read a bit of it. Oh my god, I've read the manga version of it, and with those clones with the Renegon, there's a Sharingan and whatever, it just irritated me. Like, what the heck? It doesn't seem like a serious continuum. It seems like just something thrown together just to satisfy enraged fans. That's why I probably don't. That's the other reason I don't like second generation animes or mangas, because normally when they're doing a second generation, they're trying to appease a fan. They're trying to appease the fan basis so they can continue to make a different manga or anime in perspective to this. This does not seem serious. It does not seem well planned out. It does not seem well thought out. It really doesn't. But Shippuden, Naruto, great. Naruto, sorry, I can't get into it and I probably won't. I really do feel like they just threw something together. Anyways, as it was, you have been watching The Corner, and as of always, I will see you in the next video, but first, I should tell you the prequel of the next video. What will I be doing? I've been doing a lot of, I don't know what's next because I don't really have a plan here. I just kind of been keep going and going. And whatever came to mind is what I was talking about. And Naruto came up this time. So, next video, I'm not too sure. I should just stop trying to predict my next video. Perfect. Unless I actually know what I'm doing next. So I will not be trying to predict the next one. I'll just be going to my ending in the end. So in the end, see you in the next video. Have a great day and have a fun one.